Hello and welcome to the back nine of round 2 of the 2024 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships presented by Barbasol, our final event of the season. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hotkeys.
Honk. I didn't know if you would join in. All right. We just watched maybe the squeakiest clean golf we've ever seen. No bogeys.
No bogeys on the whole card.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Take that in.
Has that ever happened? This is the...
Probably not.
This is only the best of the best.
Oh, wow. Such a good point. Eveliina and Kristin tied at the top, 2 strokes ahead of Owen and Holyn. Pretty amazing considering we started the event with a, anywhere from a 0 to 10 stroke handicap to start. Pretty wild format here.
Yeah, and pretty wild that it's staying tight in the top 10 as well. This is where things get a little tougher, though. Hole 10, not quite an example of that, but...
Yeah, it's probably the easiest hole in the course. Just one before all the hard holes, It's a par 3, 242 feet, but uphill, so you usually see fairway drivers. You occasionally see some mid-ranges. Whatever you're going to see, it's uphill, and you just got to make sure to throw it straight. It's easy to fade off into the left-hand trees and kind of have some difficulty putting.
We saw some wind whipping. On this hole in round 1 today. Nice and calm.
Eveliina making quick work of that one with her champion J.
Really like this height from Holyn. Getting a little ground play up to somewhere in circle 1.
That was her ESP Nebula. Own. Lightweight destroyer. Fading too much. That's kind of what I was talking about. It's not a bad shot by any means, but sometimes these trees get in your way.
Kristin trying to work the right side here, throwing it a little straight and getting a pretty bad kick to the right.
I have an atypical result here. It kicks all the way up to pin high, but Kristin having to go forehand. Perfect approach.
That is a scary shot right there, right through some poison oak.
And this is one where a bogey feels, I don't want to say disastrous, but it feels pretty awful. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Owen right at the crowd, giving them a show.
Eveliina to take the solo lead. Really good looking run. Little low left.
Holyn getting a birdie on this short hole, working her way back up into a tie with Owen Scoggins.
Super tight.
I know, this is crazy. There were 11 birdies, over half the field. Hole 10, tie for the second easiest hole.
Do you think they're all taking bets on who's going to take the first bogey of the day?
I know.
Talking smack?
Or is it a moment where they're like, if we don't talk about it, maybe it'll stay here,
Good point.
It's like a cat. Oh, pretend like it doesn't exist. 286, but downhill. This hole is still, for some reason, so hard. Very difficult to get to the green. I like playing really aggressive off the tee here, and then, that way you have an uphill shot up to the elevated basket. Mm-hmm. But often you see players leaving their discs a little short and having a scary downhill circle 2 putt.
Holyn putting a lot of height on this one, catching a late tree. I think it's circle 2.
Owen trying to throw a hyzer flip, and that was really, really pretty from Owen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
Still good.
Still good. That was just perfect pace. We don't get to see a lot of hyzer flips from Owen like that.
We almost never.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Eveliina trying to follow suit.
Oof. Ooh. Hand away from her face.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's scary over there. It's can be very tough to recover. Kristin opting for the forehand. I like this flex line so much. That's great. She's landing almost pin high, so she's putting back across the basket instead of downhill at the pit of doom.
Wow, this looks pretty dang good.
Oh my gosh.
That's unbelievable.
Getting through everything, just the perfect pace and angle.
She had to throw so far in the wrong direction before getting it to turn. That's amazing.
Holyn, pretty much a carbon copy of what she did yesterday. Just going to chip up to the base, not have to worry about her par putt. Eveliina trying to save the par from circle 2. A really valiant effort.
Kristin, little straddle putt for a birdie.
Nice. Kristin, one of only 5 people to get to circle 1 off the tee.
So impressive. Own the other one. Look at this. Look at how tiny she is.
That's
Give
a
it to her.
hard putt.
Mm-hmm. Super nose up into the chains.
That was 2 of 3 birdies on this hole. Hannah Bloomroof's the only other one with that park job we watched in the front 9. If you guys haven't watched the front, go do it, you weirdos. Who starts on hole 10?
I don't know. Only psychopaths. Eveliina taking that first bogey probably because I talked about it. So sorry, everybody.
Aww. Owen currently with the hot round right now at 6 down through 11.
Hole 12, another par 4, 603 feet. This one is so tough. You can try to split it up into 2. If you do that, you want to get just past this ditch. If you're inside it, it's really difficult to get enough power to get all the way down. It's dead straight, so landing off the fairway usually means you are not going to be able to attack for birdie. It's not one that we see very many women birdie very often, just because of the gauntlet-like style of the hole. You can get really aggressive off the tee and have a shorter upshot, but it also can end really, really badly.
Yeah, going right over the top of these stumps is great.
Okay, it's good. I thought it was a little bit too far to the right, but just barely.
Kristin trying to throw a little bit more of a flexi line or maybe a hyzer flip, but she put a little too much turn on it. It gets tangled up. It's probably going to be too pinched to go for the green on her second shot, but we'll see if she has in her magic bag of tricks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some magic. Holyn also a little bit too turned over to the right. See if Eveliina can kind of correct on that mistake. It's the right shape. But
yeah, and everyone knows here that you just don't want to go left. You can see everyone kind of shying away from going left.
This looks amazing.
It's so good.
Amazing.
Holy moly.
That's the best drive I think I've seen.
Definitely the farthest drive.
Yeah.
More flowers in the stumps. We love it. Kristin can't get enough distance to get all the way to the basket. She's just trying to get around the corner and carry a little ways. She's still going to be pinched off. Probably not in an ideal position to putt.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Holyn having to go forehand roller to get out of here.
In the front 9, you heard Eveliina say if you even just go 1 meter off the fairway, sometimes you're fighting for your life. Holyn's more like 4 to 5 meters off the fairway.
Which is many more feet than that if you're not European. Holyn doing a good job to get into the fairway and gets most of the way down there. I think she's just on the edge of circle 2. Owen, gonna have to get something to turn for a long time to get all the way down there.
And Holyn showing us a prime time example of why this plays as the most difficult hole of the day. Tee shot is so crucial, but It can stack up really on any shot. Even the ones down by the green, there's a ton of those little sticky trees in a tree jail on both the short left and short right side. Eveliina looking like she doesn't care about any of the trees.
She really doesn't. What a pretty forehand approach shot. She's right at bullseye's edge.
Look at Kristin's shot to the green. It's so blocked.
Yeah. Well, she does a good job getting out of there and a little bit of a friendly tree kick. Yeah, even this. Not easy.
We're due a long putt. Holyn had that one little tree right in her backswing. And gonna have to take her first bogey of the day.
On for a very long look for birdie. Has the height. Gonna go a bit long.
And a little work left for the comeback putt. Splitting 2 trees. Nice. Only 3 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation. Only 7 total got to at least circle 2.
Wow.
Yeah. You feel really good about a par save here.
You do. Not the longest par 4 out here, but man, the shape.
Eveliina, one of only 2 birdies on this hole today. The other from Silva Saarinen.
I mean, we figured she was good for this putt, but...
Yeah.
That's okay, okay.
Well,
it was in the bullseye,
I thought it was closer than that. It looked like a tap.
She's been putting so well.
Oh, that's my first spoiler in so long. Yeah. You guys just lay into me in the comments. I can't wait.
Yeah, we hate her, boo.
Yeah, she's got one job. Okay, Henna with another really friendly bounce into the middle of the fairway. She would have been able to scramble from over there, but it would have been a lot harder.
This is a really short par 5, but it played over par yesterday, even at only 685 feet. And Henna's...
Plinkoing our way up there.
Yeah, she's doing it.
See if we can bring another tree into play
No,
here.
this is clean. Perfect.
Yes.
Beautiful final approach shot. Also, it looks like she's managing her angles and her disc choice and her mistakes really well.
It's funny, we are making fun of Henna for hitting trees, but in reality, we've been watching some unbelievable golf. We're spoiled right now.
Yeah.
The fact that not a lot of tree hits have been happening is wild.
It's really impressive.
Owen holding on to the hot round. Bogey free, 6 down. Here is 13 that we just watched Henna play. Another very placement shot oriented par 5. Ideally, you want to land your first shot in here somewhere, but you saw how tight that pinch point was coming in. Your second, a little chip sidearm or a turnover backhand to this area, leaves you with still a challenging putter backhand or maybe forehand flex shot up to the green, coming soft because deep is a ton of trees and can be really difficult to putt out of. This is one that you're absolutely okay with taking a par on because just catch one tree, get off the fairway, and you can see how hard it is to recover.
Eveliina throwing it as hard as she can.
Very early. She's pinched in that first set of trees. We'll see what she has to work with.
A lot of times it's just a pitch out from over there. Own kind of the opposite approach, going rock 3, more placement style golf. And that's great.
That's so good. I love to watch Owen stick to her game plan out here.
Kristin did not get off the tee cleanly yesterday and looks a little early today as well.
Oh, really bad second kick right into the rough.
And it's tough because Kristin is not off by much out there.
Holyn kind of shanky here. Another late release, and she's going to have to again scramble from the rough. Here's Eveliina early and left. And
these scrambles can really wear on you mentally.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right.
So close to a perfect forehand roller.
Great out.
But really, on this hole, it's important to just cover some ground.
Holyn left with a very tight forehand gap. What a smooth shot.
Wow.
Amazing.
I don't even know where she just threw from.
The right side.
She is the right side?
Yeah, through some teeny tiny little trees over there. And what a dead straight, beautiful shot.
Kristin not trying to bite off too much distance here either. And perfect little chip shot, and that's almost as important as getting distance.
Owen going standstill, flex forehand, catches an early tree, and is going to fade to the right side, but, you know, it could be worse. It could be worse.
Holy crap, guys.
Is Eveliina going forehand roller again?
Oh, yeah, she is. Yes. Flips up just a little bit more than she wants. She's going to be on the left side. Kristin with a really nice placement shot, her third. She can get up and down here. It's just a pretty intense angle.
Holyn lined up pretty well to attack. That's looking good. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, easy par if nothing else. Man, Eveliina working hard on this hole. Trying to work a turning forehand shot, and it's about as good as she could have done from there, but that is a very long look for par.
Yeah, that second forehand roller did not finish the way that she hoped. Owen with a tree right in her follow through. Oh yeah. Oh
wow.
My gosh.
Okay.
Oh, flashing the pan.
Seems like a lot of our lead card ladies have been all over the basket the last 2 days. I'm just waiting for a throw-in. Is this it? It's a really pretty shot.
This played as the 5th most difficult hole of the day, with only 5 competitors getting to circle 1 in regulation, 8 to circle 2. Eveliina deep in circle 2 for this par save.
Solid run. Gonna be another bogey though.
Holyn trying to save a birdie. Really great scrambling from the rough.
Yeah, to get a birdie look from where she was off the tee.
What a birdie from Owen. One of only 4 today.
And Owen still bogey free for the tournament. And that's going to take her to 7, which is the best round that we saw yesterday, the course record. Solid par save from Kristin.
The only other birdies from Hannah Wynn and Anniken Sten.
And Owen going to tie it up at the top. 2 strokes ahead of Eveliina and 3 ahead of Holyn. Hole 14, another gauntlet. It's a par 3, 320 feet, dead straight. What'd you say yesterday? Don't go left, don't go right, just go straight. You heard it here, folks.
We all know the rules.
Yeah, I suppose there's OB deep, but I've never seen it come into play, but theoretically it's possible. It's in circle 2. Owen up first. Flippy lightweight destroyer. It's too far on the right side.
Oh,
And good
very
kick.
friendly tree kick.
This one's so difficult to use the width of this fairway at all. You really just have to pipe it. Kristin early in a less friendly kick.
This is one of those holes that makes you just want to empty your bag. Holyn so close to a pure line, but she sneaks through on the last tree on the right side onto the putting green.
To me, it's not like a fun empty your bag, though. It's like an angry, why can't I do this, empty your bag?
And then like potentially lose discs in the crunchy leaves on both sides of the fairway.
Yeah. Like it's not a positive experience.
Frantic.
Yeah. Eveliina kicking. No one really doing it. Everyone's showing why it's a difficult hole.
And so difficult to even recover your par. Only 3 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation. I don't have complaints though about the hole.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's cool.
It's fair.
Yep. And I think a really nice distance. Ooh, Eveliina found a very shrubby shrub.
Oh, the shrubbiest. And Eveliina working really hard to scramble, but it's not quite working out for her.
Getting some really unfortunate lies.
Oh, wow.
Kristin.
So cool. Let's see it again.
How she's so close to that tree right in front of her.
Oh, inches.
Wow.
I like that she didn't even Annie around it, though. Just a nice straight putt. Mm-hmm. Beautiful recovery.
What an angle. She's not scared.
Eveliina looking at her own par save.
Is that a little mushroom in the tree?
I hope so.
Yes,
oh,
Eveliina.
yeah, little fist bump. Okay, I was wrong. It is working. It's working for her.
It is working.
It's working.
For sure. Oh, Holyn, so close to a birdie. You want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
She would have been the only birdie of the day.
That is crazy.
Yeah, no birdies today.
But still no complaints from me.
Nope. 80% of the field with a par, 20% with a bogey.
Well, sounds like all pars is about as good as it gets then on 14, and some fantastic scrambling. Checking in with Henna Bloomroos on chase card. Hole 16, a new tee pad. It used to be a par 3, now it's a par 4. This placement shot is very difficult. She's a little bit deep, but positioned well to attack.
Missy Gannon also pushing the deep side just about as close as you can.
Yeah, she'll be on the kind of other side of the fairway, both in a great position to get the birdie. I think this is a great change.
Ooh. Henna riding the right side all the way down and again hitting the lighthouse.
I wonder if there's more lighthouse hits today that we don't have on camera. Missy able to throw more of a hyzer shot. Beautiful.
I loved her little flare follow through. Skipping through the chains, but finding the back wall of the basket. Henna doesn't have to worry about any of that. Just a tap in. 2 really great birdies on a tie for the third hardest hole. Oh wait, wrong hole. Tie for a middle of the pack hole.
Still great. Still a tie up at the top. Own again at that 7 down, which is the current course record.
Here is another hard par 3, hole 15. This one is a tie for the third most difficult hole. You can take the route that the drone is flying. It's sets up for a distance forehand, or you can take the Missy Gannon route, the backhand little skinny gap on the right-hand side. I think both plays are awesome. This one just requires so much power, and I don't like really how it lines up for a backhand turnover, but you will still see players trying it because it's kind of the quote-unquote true line, or the intended line by the course designer.
Own going forehand. She tried the backhand yesterday. This would be a crazy line for her flex. You almost need more of a flip up. She pulls it over to the left-hand side and has a lot of work left for par.
And I feel like that's the first time we have seen Own not make like a smart play, if that makes sense. Like she got aggressive there for a second with a shot that doesn't quite fit.
Kristin did this yesterday too. Man, she has this shot dialed.
So much power on Kristin's forehand. Holyn also a player that does have the power to get there.
Yeah, Kristin going orbit, Grace, Holyn, leave Jawbreaker, Z, Flex, Raptor. Holyn was able to get inside the circle yesterday. Today, not so much.
Yeah, overturns that one just a little bit.
I was super curious to see what Eveliina had lined up for this one because she could go forehand too, and there are very few people who could make that forehand work.
But she is opting for the backhand, getting tangled up late in the flight, and that's absolutely fine on this hole. It's ideal. It may not set you up for a birdie, but you don't really have to think too hard about the par.
Owen working a pretty extreme flex. It finds the ground a bit too early. She's going to be deep in circle 2, at risk for her first bogey of the round.
For her first bogey of 2 rounds.
Yes. Holyn with a pretty panning forehand shot. Who doesn't love to watch that? Who is it? Tell me.
Holyn is always so close to the chains, too. She's always kind of throwing it in.
Yeah. I love it.
Eveliina just pitching up to the green. 3 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation, only 6 to circle 2. This hole is another par 3 that just wrecks everyone.
Do it, Owen. Well, all streaks come to an end, I suppose. Actually, still quite a bit of work left here for the bogey.
Nice. What tree?
Is she the best at comeback putts? Her and Paige Pierce. Kristin to take strokes on all of her card mates and the field. Only a few birdies, he said?
Yeah, Kristin, one of only 3 today. The only person to park the hole. Silva Saarinen, circle 1 putt, and Kat Merch hitting a circle 2 putt for birdie.
And that's interesting. It's going to be interesting on Championship Sunday. It kind of came down to this hole a little bit last year, Missy Gannon parking it with the right side gap, and Kristin knowing she can park it with a forehand. Could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Missy Gannon, speak of the devil, she's ahead on hole 17. Really great shot. It looks like she's getting aggressive and attacking. She laid up yesterday. This is a totally blind shot to a roped off island green.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Did we see any birdies yesterday?
Ooh. I don't remember, but I don't.
If we did, it was 1 or 2. And Missy, knowing she needs to put her foot on the gas, she's a few strokes back of the lead, and we know she wants to win this one.
There were actually 4 birdies yesterday, but it was the most difficult hole of the day. A lot of bogeys and double bogeys.
Yeah. Super cool.
It's definitely the highest risk shot to go for.
Absolutely. Hole 16 is a par 4, 515 feet. This is the one we watched Henna and Missy play. New tee pad, you want to throw a hyzer. I like, again, pushing the back wall before you break to the left, trying to stay in the center of the fairway. If you manage to do all that, it's only 515 feet. So the second shot, it's not really a problem with distance, but you do want to put it close with the elevated pin. It's definitely a shot that is pretty easy to mess up. I would say early left is the worst mistake, but honestly, off the fairway anywhere at Nevin can be just the worst. Really good shot from Kristin, a bit inside, but she's going to be just on the edge of the fairway.
That leaf crunch on the follow through on Holyn. Unfortunately, going to be a little early. Looks like she kicked to the right, which is the best way to kick. But definitely going to lengthen the hole. Eveliina again with a little bit of a late release and going to get knocked down pretty early in the first half of the fairway.
It can be so crushing to not be able to attack for birdie out here and just be working for your pars. Owen with a really nice looking shot.
Wow. Looking very comfortable with that hyzer.
She's going to be right next to Kristin. Eveliina with her, fourth forehand roller of the round?
3rd or 4th, yeah.
Uh-oh.
And Eveliina may be starting to get a little frustrated here.
It happens fast.
Yeah, wooded courses, especially at the end of the season, can be brutal, even if you're the best.
Great recovery shot, though.
Holyn from the rough, having to go way uphill. What a great shot to the middle of the fairway. Owen, even with such a good-looking drive, really pinched off on this one fairway tree. Not quite set up to attack.
She pulls it too far to the right and drops pretty early, but at least centered. Kristin not quite as far into the, I don't even want to call it rough, but it's not fairway.
No.
She's able to go more of a flexing forehand shot, and that's gorgeous.
And like that gap is only 8 feet. They're just a couple of feet off from being set up to have a pretty easy straight to hyzer finishing shot. Evelina's fourth is on the green. She's going to have to settle for bogey at best.
Those were good recovery shots after a forehand roller gone awry. Owns third little rock shot. Hovercraft. Whoa. Oh. An unfortunate little root skip. She'll have circle's edge putt for her par.
Holyn trying for a little floaty approach. She comes in really soft.
Perhaps too floaty.
Yeah. It's funny to watch Holyn still do a full reach back for her approaches.
Ooh.
Oh.
Kristin, circle 2, straddle for another birdie. Taking strokes on all of her card mates here.
So good. Kristin, one of 6 birdies today on hole 16.
Everyone else on the card having to work for their par saves. Own, gonna go back-to-back bogeys. Ooh, and again, a lot of work left.
Yeah, Owen looking like she did kind of a soft bid on that first putt.
But she's good for the comeback, as pretty much always.
Holyn for a great par recovery.
Eveliina with the bogey. That looked like a bit of a timid putt, but it's in. We're going to move on.
These staying elevated baskets. And our last 2 holes are in the wide open. Thankfully, we did have a little bit calmer conditions than we saw yesterday on the last 2 holes.
Kristin's starting to separate herself, getting birdies where her competitors are taking bogeys in the last stretch, but these are separators.
Kristin and Owen were tied, 3 holes ago?
Yeah.
So crazy.
Math.
17, we watched Missy with a birdie on it. If you get aggressive off the tee shot, it is still kind of a gamble on whether or not players are going to go for it on their second shot. You still see people throw huge distance shots and then just lay up.
Yeah.
Because you can't see this basket. It's down in a little depression area where you can't see the basket from all points on the fairway. A very small roped island, I would say at most, 60 feet across?
Something like that. Yeah, not much bigger than Circle 2. It could even be smaller in places than Circle 2.
We saw Kristin hit an early tree yesterday, making the correction today. She is way down there.
Fantastic drive. I like her one fan that woo also. And we saw Holyn get aggressive off the tee and go for it on the second shot. She went a little bit deep. This, man, is so good.
So good.
I wonder if she'll attack, because after getting a bogey on this one yesterday, she kind of took some off on hole 18 when she could have attacked.
I bet she for sure will.
Okay.
This is Holyn's kind of golf. She's just been waiting to get out to these holes.
Licking her chops.
Yep. Eveliina throwing a huge distance shot as well. Just smokes the disc.
Wow. And she is, yeah, I think even farther and more center cut than Holyn, which is so difficult to do.
Owen with a really nice angle here. She's landing in a slightly more pinched area of the fairway, but looking comfortable nonetheless.
I am guessing Owen's just going to lay up as she did yesterday. A master of sticking to her game plan. And with all the bigger numbers on this hole, it just often isn't worth it.
Yeah, this is the second most difficult hole today. It was the most difficult hole yesterday. This is just not the place to extend yourself if you're not feeling comfortable.
Holyn, 100% for sure going for it. You're right. And it looks like she made the correction for yesterday, even putting it in the bullseye.
I feel like, did she just throw like a putter or a mid? It was something slow.
It looked slow.
We saw Missy throw a distance driver, so just check out the difference in game plan.
Yeah, that looks more like a fairway driver.
No
What just happened?
She just blew up a light bulb.
Yeah,
I
let's
think.
see it. Yes, please, let's see it again.
And that is what you're aiming for. You're just hoping that you miss it. And she's so good. Oh,
wow.
She hits it. That is so unfortunate.
Man, the storybook lamp.
They'll never forget the name Kristin.
Eveliina going a much higher line, maybe in light of what just happened, and she also puts it in the bullseye.
In light.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, in the lamp.
What just happened? Oh, and after her layup, just chipping her third shot up to the green. It's unfortunate because that was a great shot from Kristin.
It really was.
It was going to be perfect. And she's going to have to settle for a bogey without a throw-in.
And it's crazy because she's leading by 4, but has been a little bit off and has kind of gotten all of the bad kicks. None of really the good breaks. And that's a truly bizarre break right there. Great par from Own. Just how you draw it up.
Kristin with her first bogey of the round. Holyn looking for a birdie, first one in a while.
Love to see it. She's going to tie it back up with Own.
And she's one of 4 birdies today.
Is Eveliina one? Tell us before she puts it.
Yes. Missy Gannon. Oh, we saw Missy Gannon. Silva Saarinen was the 4th birdie on hole 17. That one feels good.
Missy ahead on the final hole. She had some trouble here yesterday. She was in the woods, corrects the mistake. She's a little bit earlier than you'd like to go for eagle, but she can go for birdie here.
What's this wind? It was generally calm today, but a little gust as Missy lines up her shot.
Kind of seems similar to yesterday, that maybe left to right headwind as soon as you turn the corner. Missy's third. She's getting really aggressive here, going over that out of bounds the whole way.
Oh, wow.
Super good shot. A lot of trust there. And
I think that was lower than she wanted it to be, but it worked great.
yeah, and to finish with a turkey, very impressive from Missy Gannon. I believe that's a 5-down round from her. Missy going to put herself at that 16-down number, tied right now with Own, Eveliina, and Holyn. So possibility of joining us on lead card tomorrow, depending on how this shakes out. So again, hole 18, a par 5, 830 feet. You don't need a ton of distance. You just need to get out of the gap to attack for birdie. Forehand works great, or backhand turnover. Second shot, you're either cutting the corner a little bit and landing far back, or you're trying to get aggressive and land at this pinch point here before it gets to its narrowest part. I believe we've seen, I don't know if I'm making this up, that people have gone across on their second shot for eagle. It's theoretically possible, we'll say. But for the most part, you're just looking for a birdie, and it can spiral quickly with the roped OB and the woods line on the left the entire way.
I think it is theoretically possible, but with the FPO distance, and if there's any wind at all, most players pretty dissuaded from going because of that Mando pole on the right side. It takes away the ability to throw any sort of distance shot. You have to throw a big turnover and hope that your disc doesn't dump, and that's pretty hard to do when you're throwing huge distance shots.
Absolutely. Holyn going forehand. It's a little early through the trees, but she's well out there. Eveliina with the backhand turning shot. Also very nice.
You are kind of baited here. You just want to throw so far, but the gap's so small that you don't feel like you can throw your backhand as hard as you would like to.
That's why I definitely prefer the forehand here. And everyone out of the gap nicely.
Huge forehand from Kristin.
And this is always fun to see how people line up to see how aggressive they're going to get. Own actually going forehand, which she did yesterday, which feels absolutely insane to me. But she's got it. And it does make sense to not go deep into the woods, but she's just so brave.
Yeah. And also just chilling in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, so perfect.
Kristin looking like she's going to bite off a little more distance.
Looks pretty aggressive. Oh, it's high. Okay.
Yeah. Not sure the intention, but it's in the middle and it doesn't really matter.
I think that was the intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. You're right. Nothing matters. Eveliina. She's doing it. Is she doing it?
She's doing it. What Mando pull? No way, dude.
Look at it's roped around that little culvert. That's so frustrating. What a cool shot. Holyn also seems to be getting aggressive here, though maybe a little bit less than Eveliina. This is kind of that secondary landing zone. And that's
a really great shot.
So perfect.
Man,
She knows it's good.
Eveliina
I know.
again with just the most unfortunate little landing spot.
Little drainage ditch.
Kristin lined up perfectly for a forehand. It's a really comfortable shot for her.
Not sure what's happening, but she's in circle 2. It looks like maybe the wind kind of
push that down a little.
Not helping her. Yeah, it had a little bit of turn. It looked like it was going to fade more than it did. I like the backhand.
There's so much more wind on the screen than there was on the rest of the course.
Yep. On putting it nice and close for one final birdie. Holyn, not even 200 feet away?
Yep, just a little chip shot. Crawling into circle 1.
A little bit of work left.
Eveliina's 4th with the OB stroke. Hoping this wind's going to help her carry to the right, and it does.
And Eveliina looking so strong on the front 9 and just a little bit off. You can see if you're not perfect off the tees out here, how quickly the bogeys can stack up. Kristin with a little stepper to finish things off.
Kristin, 1 of 7 birdies today.
She's going to go back-to-back 6 downs.
Wow. And this is a tie for the 3rd most difficult hole. Birdie feels great here, especially with all that blustery wind. Wow, back-to-back 6 unders at Nevin is
unheard of.
It is crazy.
Holyn for birdie. Nice. Great finish. Holyn
looking strong on the course, just not quite stringing them together yet.
What's crazy, though, is her not quite stringing them together is still 5 down.
That is crazy. Eveliina, like Erika said, so strong on the front, but unfortunately finding a couple of bogeys on the back. Still in the mix, however. We have 2 more rounds out here. Own finishing her round out with a birdie. A really nice little bounce back from a couple of bogeys in a row. The first couple of bogeys of her tournament.
Yeah, pretty nuts. Own and with those bogeys, Own still shooting 2 strokes better than she shot yesterday.
Wow.
Super impressive. Kristin, Own, and Henna Bloomers all 6 down, the best score of the day. Holyn Handley rejoining us solidly in a tie for 2nd with Own Scoggins. And Missy Gannon finding her way back onto the lead card. Eveliina, though in a tie for 4th, had the worst score compared to Missy, will slide back to top of Jace.
And we don't have any sort of cut or any sort of reshuffling or anything for this Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship. So there's a slightly different format every year. But this year we're just playing like a regular tournament with that stroke advantage we saw only applying in round 1. So you get 2 more days of the 2 hotkeys, 2 more days of Nevin, 2 more days of FPO championships. Bet you guys are excited.
2 more days before winter comes.
We will see you guys tomorrow again at Nevin. The rest of the week is sunshine in the forecast. We couldn't be happier about it. We'll see you then. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.